Your Excellency, the leader of the government of Tunisia, Your Excellencies, members of the High Segment Panel, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to be able to stand here on behalf of the United Nations system. But even so, pleased as the leader of the United Nations Conference of Trade and Development to participate in this important event. Before I present the statement from Mr. Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the UN, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to make a few remarks on behalf of my organization. First, I consider it a strong endorsement of UNCTAD's capacity and expertise that at this historic moment in your country, a senior member of our staff of Tunisian nationality was requested to leave UNCTAD to become a cabinet member in your transitional government. Your Minister for Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Dr. Hamdi Monji, proved his value to UNCTAD in the many years he has served in the United Nations. And I trust that he is making a valuable contribution to your country now in this important role. After making so much progress in political transition over the past few years, Tunisia now stands ready to reap the economic benefits of this investment in transition. Foreign direct investment will have a key role to play, and we at UNCTAD believe strongly that properly leveraged FDI can directly contribute to sustainable and inclusive development. According to our statistics, Tunisia is the third largest holder of FDI stock in North Africa, after Egypt and Morocco. And it's the largest holder of FDI stock in relation to the size of the economy. Your $31 billion in FDI is equal to 71% of the country's GDP. Half of the FDI flows into this country in 2012 originated from the European Union countries, particularly France, Austria, and Italy. However, new investors are also emerging, such as Qatar, which became the largest single investor in this country in the year 2012, with investment stocks of $500 million. Some changes are also appearing in the sectoral trends. While historically agriculture has been the main focus of FDI flows, in 2012, services, mainly telecommunication services, accounted for 43% of all the inflows. These inflows to this country can support growth of exports, job creation, contribute to regional development, and in many other ways underwrite the stability of this country's transition. There are substantial reasons to invest in Tunisia. But for the world, the first and most important one is that we all want a role model of a successful story after the Arab Spring. We need evidence that when people are ready to compromise, that reason triumphs over just trumping, that success can come. The world needs to underwrite the success story of Tunisia. Like the immediate predecessor to me spoke here, capital needs to be brave, but political leadership is important for enhancing the bravery of capital. There are many opportunities for the investors here, and as you'll hear over the next few days, the possibilities of an improving infrastructure, Tunisia's exciting energy sector, the potentials in construction, the new possibilities of inflows into manufacturing. All these are exciting opportunities that should be sounded to the world of investment. But also, perhaps even more promising, the services sector. We at UNCTAD have this faith that the service sector, more than any other sector in the modern economy, is most responsive for gender inclusivity and youth empowerment. We at UNCTAD were requested last year by the government of Tunisia to support the drawing up of a new investment law to create a favorable climate for both domestic and foreign investors. We consider that the adoption of an effective, transparent investment law enhances the capacity of any country to attract both domestic and foreign investors. Most critically, a well-conceived investment law is a key element of ensuring that investment indeed promotes sustainable development for the benefit of all sectors of our society. In this regard, I would like to congratulate the government of Tunisia for its initiative to review the investment law and for extensive consultations that are taking place, including with civil society as well as with development partners, in improving the draft and facilitating its adoption by the country. While investors undoubtedly express concern about some issues, the structured open dialogue is the best way of dealing with any issues perceived to be standing in the way of investment. Ladies and gentlemen, as we participate in the opening of a conference on a startup democracy, I'm reminded of a saying in the part of the world where I come from, that those who have no destination cannot get lost. Are people who are sharing a vision of post-electoral society, set themselves markers on how to assess candidates for leadership, but set goals also of how to assess success of governments. I would like to reiterate our commitment to continue supporting you in these challenging and exciting times, because you are developing a vision, and as your history of courage and courage shows, you have the determination to show that it can work. Allow me now, ladies and gentlemen, to present a brief statement from Mr. Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the United Nations Organization. It gives me great pleasure to greet the participants in this important conference on investing in Tunisia. I thank the government and people of Tunisia for hosting this important meeting. I congratulate the government and the people of Tunisia for the remarkable achievements they have made in their transitional process. I particularly commend their strong commitment to dialogue in search of solutions, despite attempts by radical forces to derail the process. It is crucial that the government of Tunisia continues to work in an inclusive, participatory, and consensual manner to consolidate its democratic gains, improve the state of the economy, and strengthen its institutions on a solid foundation of human rights and rule of law. The United Nations will continue to support the Tunisian transition. Investment will be a key factor in unleashing the full potential of Tunisia's transition for the benefit of its citizens. Investment can also be a powerful vehicle for deeper cooperation between Tunisia and its neighbors in Europe and Africa, as well as with its trading partners elsewhere in the world. Investors, both at home and from abroad, can support Tunisia's startup democracy by creating decent jobs, generating exports, promoting rights, and respecting the environment, and transferring capital, technology, and business contacts to spur development. Investing in a sustainable future requires investment not only in physical assets or infrastructure, but also in ideas and people. I'm encouraged by the proposed economic program that the national dialogue in Tunisia has inspired. This conference represents an important step in turning this vision into reality. Investment in this startup democracy can deliver not only for the Tunisian people, but also for the broader region. At this time of turmoil and test, I count on your leadership and your efforts to uphold these responsibilities and to seize the opportunities to build a better future. In that spirit, I offer you my best wishes for a successful meeting. Thank you for your kind attention.